Hello everyone, welcome back to part 2 of my large tag accordion album. So as I said in my previous video, it started off as a regular one, but it sort of grew and became this bigger monster. So this is my Come One, Come All, which was my practice one. And I've been working on a 12-day sort of Christmas extended version using Letters to Santa. So in part 1, we went through and we constructed our album with these pockets. And the pockets are big enough then that we can slide in our large rectangle, can't even speak today, the large tags. So I said then I would show you some more paper saving ideas and methods for us to get the most out of our papers, and how, if you haven't got all the paper pads like I've been lucky enough to have, how we can save on some paper spaces as well. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add some more places where we can tuck things in, and I'm going to add some pockets to each pages, as you can see in this one here. These are all pockets, that's why we've got the two different papers. So to make that, we are going to grab some black cardstock, find my measurements, and my trimmer. Now again, I'm making the most out of my cardstock because I can get quite a few, I think it's 6 I can get out of one piece of my A4. So I'm going to first cut at 5 1/8. And do the same, 5 1/8. And then we're cutting at 3 3/4. Also, it's 4 I got out of it. There we go. Now, how many of these pockets you want to make is up to you. Depends on how many pages you want to do it. I mean, on the inside of the covers, I have done on this one. On my Alice one, I didn't. And I think on this one, I don't think I'm going to either. I'm just going to have my cardstock plain. Right. So now, let's grab the scoreboard. And we're going to score 1/2 inch down both of the shorter sides, flip it over, and 1/2 inch on the longer side. So that means we're going to have a 3 1/4 inch deep pocket. Now, if you want a deeper one, you just cut your 3 3/4 longer. If you want it shallower, just make it shallow. But you do need to keep the 5 1/8 wide, because that is to fit across your page. Ooh, jumped out of the channel there. There we go. Let's grab our tape. I'm just going to put the tape in those 1/2 inch channels. Those score lines aren't very... Did I have 2 maybe stuck together, I think? Yes, because that's why I jumped out the channel. I had 2 pieces of cardstock. Got one more to go. I'm not doing well with my counting today, I can't even count to 4. I seem to be only wanting to do 3 pockets. Okay, grab my scissors. I'm just going to do a cut towards the score line where the 2 score lines cross. Take my scissors, angle a bit sharper, and cut. So the reason I do that is when I fold it over, those 2 don't cross over. And you're just reducing the bulk. If you just went in a straight line, the chances are those 2 pieces, those 2 half-inch pieces, when you fold them back, might meet up. And now I'm just going to give each of these a nice, harsh burnish. The harsher you do it, the flatter your pocket will be. So take time and really go around it. Really apply the pressure. Because if you don't, what happens is these 2 sort of push out and you'll end up having a bow in your pockets. So the sharper you can do this, the better. This is why I like my Cool Cats Crafts Teflon tool, because the Teflon doesn't mark your black cardstock. If you had the plasticky one, you'd end up with those shiny lines. So I've done 4 pockets here. You know, it's up to you how many you want. Let me untie my accordion album. So I've already done a couple. You'll see. So I haven't done any there, but I've done those 2 pages ready. So let's just do the other 4. Let me clear all my tools out of the way. Get a nice flat space. So I'm going to get rid of the bottom first, and I line up the 2 bottom corners and press down. Now you can, like I did in the first video, put some tape here so that your tags or photos, whatever you want, don't get jammed there. But it's not so much of an issue here if something is a little bit higher, because you can put your regular tag in, it's going right to the bottom, but if it was a little bit higher, not so much of an issue here as it was when we did the main one. And just I think I've done, I know, there we are. And some tape to create that ramp. There we go. So now we have a pocket on each. Now, maybe I did plan on putting, let's go for it, because I've got 2 more. Let's place them on the covers as well. And the cover over here. So now we have a pocket on each. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 8 of our pages to cover now. Now, just to save time, I've already done the other side. Now, the other side used 2 sheets of paper. So you get 3 out of 1 12 by 12. We'll see, I've got a tag in there ready as well when I was practicing. So let's see how I did those. So now it's time to start choosing some papers and adding some colour to the album. So there's 2 ways we can do this. You can use the 8 by 8 pads or the 12 by 12. The reason being is you're going to use 8 by 4 strips to decorate. So that means with the 8 by 8 pads, we're just cutting them in half. If you've got your 12 by 12, you're going to cut at 8 and you're going to get 3 panels from 1 sheet. Unless you've got a non-directional side, you could also get a strip out of the top, meaning you're only going to use 2 strips. So I've got 2 options here. I could choose this and have plain and then have the plain red on the inside covers because I've got 6 sheets in the middle. Or I can find 3 sheets left over from previous projects. So you need 3 full ones. 1, 2, 3 full. Yeah, let's go for holly and stripes then. And then I do need 1 more to do the inside covers. So I'll decide that later on. So first job is to get cutting. So as I said, we're just doing 8 by 4. You know, all my projects use nice, easy measurements. So for now, I'm just going to cut them all the same way. So 8 by 4. I don't need the title. And 8 by 4. So I got my 6 of those. Now, in my Alice one, I used a very patterned paper. So I had my pockets and my backing the same page without flipping to get that pattern continuation. The same here, otherwise she'd look really strange without her head. But if there's no pattern continuation, you can flip sides. So that's what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to cut at 2 3/8 off the bottom of each of these. Now, neither of them are directional, so it doesn't matter which way I'm doing it. So 2 and 1, 2, 3/8. So now what I have is a piece that goes on the top. Oh, I've made my pockets larger this time, haven't I? So yeah, I've measured my come one, come all, where I had smaller pockets. I decided to go bigger this time. So it shouldn't have been 2 3/8 off the bottom. Lucky I checked. It should have been 3 1/8. So don't worry, I'm going to do an invisible repair. So 3 1/8 would be there. Put that up. So a little extra. So an invisible repair, I'm just going to grab my double-sided tape. On the back, I'm just going to put it half on to to the paper and half of it is sticking off. And then we're just going to take this and line it up so I'm butting it right up and pressing down. And there we have an invisible repair. So, what was it? 3 1/8. Let's check. Yep, 3 1/8. So I'm going to be cutting 3 1/8 off the bottom of each of them. Thank goodness I did one and checked. 3 1/8. Now you can see I'm not too worried about keeping them in an order or anything, because what I'm going to be doing is creating a zigzag. If I was doing a pattern repeat, I would have been a bit more careful. So 3 of them I'm going to have this way and 3 of them that way, making sure the invisible repair one is there. So 3 that way and 3 that way. And I'm just going to ink the corners. Oh, gosh, it's becoming a bit of a disaster, this decorating bit. With the top ones, I'm just doing the top and 2 sides. This is a new distressing, so it's quite juicy. I think I got a bit too much ink on some pieces, but now this is the, when I was trimming the back. So you may find you've got, from your trimmer, a bit of a raised bit. So if you just take your tool and iron it out, you just smooth it out. And this is the one with the invisible repair, so just got to be careful. And one, two, three. So this is the front. So I'm not going to do the inside cover. Let me open it up a little bit. I can take this off of my invisible repair. That's how I had 2 pockets left over. I missed those 2 out. I'll go back and add them in afterwards. So those were the 2 which were supposed to come from the covers, if you've seen that part. This decorating video is supposed to be the easy part. So I'm just going to open my pocket to put my paper in. And just lining it up with a small black border. And then here, I'm going to do stripes and holly and stripes. So this time it's stripes and holly. There we go. I still can't believe I missed out those two. I thought I'd worked it out that I had the right amount of pockets. But what probably threw me was that this one's got more pages than my original Come One, Come All one. So these have got just narrow black borders, a lot more narrow than I usually do. I usually do the 1/4 of an inch, but again, I did this to maximize papers. Right, so after I've done this, what I need to do is go back and make 2 more pockets. Just tuck this in. There we go. Let's just add a bit more glue there. So there we go, that is how you decorate then your pocket ones. And originally I was just going to grab another pattern piece and just put it plain on the front and back. But obviously I did a bit of a mistake using these two. So 2 more pockets will be needed. And these were just flat stuck on originally. That was the original idea. Okay. So if I'm using my 12 by 12, this time I'm going to do pattern continuation. I cut my 8 first of all, and then 4 and 4, and then you've got a 4 there as well. So this is what I did on this side. These were from the 12 by 12s. So I used 2 sheets to get 2, 4, 6. And again, it was 3 1/8. I am double checking my measurements this time. Yep, 3 1/8. Now, do I cut them both at the same time? The way today's going, I'm not sure if it's the smartest, but I'm going to. Right. So again, just take my distress ink. Now I need to be careful this time. I do need to keep them in an order. So that's the front. Actually, when you're doing pattern, it's better to do the pocket first, because that one you can lift and it look right. But if you did the back first, and this needs to be lifted. The pocket would look out a little bit, so it's better to do the pocket and then it's got that nice black edge. And I said, if you need, it's a bit long, so I'm gonna sort of cut it. Let me just cut a little bit off. So I might just do that on the other one as well. So maybe for this bit, 7 7/8 is the way to go. Yeah, 8 inches was when I didn't have the pattern repeat. Oh, I didn't ink the edge. Let me just quickly see if I can lift. There we go. Now that Merry Christmas is a bit better, so let me do that on this one as well. Take off 1/8. So pocket first, and then, yeah, that's fine this time. And there we go. That's how to decorate. Ignore that bit, it'll be coming up, and the front. So when you open it up, then you will get that nice zigzag going on. With this being a 6 pocket version, I've used the whole pack of the 12 by 12 and of the large tags. So I've made 6 of them. I've cut out using the large die. So I cut all the fronts from the 12 by 12 pack. So I needed 2 sheets, because once you cut it at, I think it's 9 inches tall. Yeah, 9 by 4. So you get 3 out of 1 sheet. If it's non-directional, you could get one up the top as well, but mine was directional. So I used 2 sheets, and then I used 2 different sheets on the back. So they're gonna, 3 different sheets on the back. So they're gonna alternate. I think it was 2 sheets, but I managed to flip some over to get that. So what I did, I said I cut one of them. Then I cut a 3 by 4 photo slot die. If you haven't got those, you can just stick a 3 by 4 photo mat on top, just slightly bigger. But this does mean I can take them out and change them. And I used just some number dies, and I cut them out of those patterns and solids, out of the red solid, and a black one as well. And I just mounted the black one, a red one on top of the black one with a slight shadow, just offset it a little bit. And I've done that for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 days of Christmas. So then these are just going to slot in. Five. 7, 9, and 11. So that's it. But I did say I'd show you some paper saving ideas in this one. So I'm going to make some little tags to go into these pouches as well. So I've already cut some using the regular tag die. And I've also cut from the Patterns and Solids this plain cream that was in it. If you don't have the Patterns and Solids, just use some white or cream cardstock. That would also work. And what I'm going to do is use the Letters to Santa stamp set. Grab some ink. So what you could do, so I've taken this special delivery. Now this is a bit of a risk because this table isn't quite smooth. So let me grab some of my other papers. Put it on. So I'm stamping it down. So I'm leaving it there for a second just for the ink to soak into the paper. So I'm not pressing down hard, I'm just putting pressure all around. As I said, the worst thing you can do is take it off too soon before the ink has had time to transfer. And there we go. Even on this uneven surface, I've managed to get a nice printed image. And then you can take some of the snowflakes and decorate the sides. But I'm going to use this as like a little journaling tag. Now, did I? Yes, I did leave it in here. So that is a great way of using the stamp set to create some matching papers. So I think if you had an 8x8 and a Patterns and Solids in a collection, you would be able to make this no worries. Because you'd need the 12x12 to do the cover and the long tags. And the 8x8 would just cover the pages. But I just dipped into the 12x12 pad as well, just because I had it. So let's put a bit of extra glue there. Now, of course, I could use my photo slots there as well if I wanted to add photos into that one. But I'm just going to leave it as it is, like so. So that is how you can use the stamp sets to make some more. And then, of course, I've still got the cover to go, and I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet, but I think he needs to go there somewhere. He can fit on. I've also got some of the journal card paper. So in the pack, I already cut them up. Yeah, I've already cut them out of the 12x12. I've got one in the 8x8 I haven't cut up. Ah, here we are. You do have this sheet, which has the photo journal cards on the back. So they look like this from the 12x12. So there's a 6x4. Let's not put them in the empty one. We can tuck the, oh, I need to trim it down. I think I was a bit off. But 6x4 would fit in there because our pockets were 6 and an 1/8 long. But I think it's just my measurements there. They would go in like so. Let's just trim down to that red border. There we go. That's your 6x4 journal cards as well, which can go in there. So hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and comments below. I really do enjoy reading them, and I do try to answer and reply to you. And if you do have a go, please do share some photos with me. You can add them to the Graphic 45 community page on Facebook, or on Paper Crafting with Paul, which is my Facebook group. So just type Paper Crafting with Paul and that should pop up. And yeah, oh, ignore that one. And a lovely little album. Then flipping over, even more spaces there. So nice clever way of using the accordion book idea, which has been around for a while, but turning it into a pocket album with some very clever ideas. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all again very soon with some more projects.